Hellion, but at the end of the day, Flash had enough to stop it and then just hit that really nice timing up into the natural when Bbyong overreacted to that auto turret harass.
Yeah, and it was an overreaction in a really big way, and it wasn't even a good overreaction. Like, it was actually a bungle. He really did bungle that pretty badly, because they ended up in a position where there was like one Hellion actually shooting, and everything else was stuck behind it trying to get at them, which was just silly. You know, it was a micro mistake.
Yeah, it certainly was. So Bbyong got to be kicking himself a little bit, but you know what? He's going to stay calm. He's going to keep playing his best, because he has to know he still has the possibility of winning this, especially after game number 3.
Yes, I think he certainly does. And I hope he takes it all the way to game 7. I really, really do. Because this series, it should be savored. It should go on for many hours. We could just end the cast right there. It's like, Zest Hero, sorry, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. You can't follow that one up. I'm sorry. You Protoss.
Too much epic for one day. Come on.
Indeed.
Well, our next map going to be Overgrowth, and you know what? This is like a pretty standard map. There's nothing too fancy about it. I guess there's the gold base that could be taken. There's those big ridges to actually try to go up and attack, so the later the game gets, the more half-mappy it's going to look.
Yep, and we might go to late game once again, but with Flash with a 2-game lead, is this when he busts out the cheddar?
Definitely could be. I was actually expecting that in the last game, but now is as good a time as any.
Yeah, I think so. You got your 2-map lead. Not only that, but of course you then reset the pool and pretty much get your pick of the litter there. And since you're on match point, you can pick whatever map you're most confident on. So, I mean, that could be fantastic for him going into that game. And my mind is frazzled. I just set the scoreboard to 7 apiece. It's like, well, that's wishful thinking. There it is. That's the button I was looking for. Good God, this series is so crazy. All right, folks, here we go. Overgrowth will be the destination here. Potentially the final destination. Hopefully not the final destination. I certainly hope not. I want to see some good old fighting spirit from Bbyong here, I think. He's to the southwest position. He's in the orange trunks, and he is playing Terran for CJ Entus. He's down 2 games. He certainly needs to pull it back here, but we all know he's capable.
And his opponent in the top right, best player from StarCraft 1 today, and a couple days ago, looking like the best player in StarCraft 2 possibly as well, KT Rolster Flash.
Certainly. Can Bbyong bring it back? Or will it be his Heartbreak Ridge? I hope not.
Well, you know, I don't know if you're meaning to do it, but in the last 2 minutes, you have said the names of like 9 different Brood War maps, like Heartbreak Ridge and Destination and Fighting Spirit. I don't know if you're meaning it, but it's giving me flashbacks to other great Flash games. Flashbacks. Oh, wow.
There you go. See, you're even starting to do it now. It's just how it has to be. We've got to bring the puns out for this one.
Well, we have a gas first from Bbyong. So it looks like he wants to maybe do a Banshee build again here. See if that works out. It hasn't really been doing it yet against Flash.
No,
Flash's defense has been pretty stellar.
Yeah, it has. And if you are down to your potentially, well, it absolutely is your last map. If you don't win this, you are down to the bronze match. Which is, I mean, it's still it's good enough, right? You know, you get to play the bronze match, maybe taking 3rd place in a really stacked tournament. But this is like Bbyong's chance to really prove himself in an individual tournament, which he has yet to do. You know, I mean, we're talking about the same guy who lost to A-Bomb. I know, he got pretty beaten up by the Irishman there, so that's not really a crowning achievement in your career, even if you are ripping it up in Pro League.
That's true, and he's, you know, that's got to dig at him, because yes, Pro League for players on these old Kespa teams, like, that is the most important thing for them.
Yeah.
But deep down, personally, every single StarCraft player wants to win the individual leagues, because, you know, that's where they really show their mettle. That's where they say, hey, I'm the best. It's not necessarily my team, but I am playing better than everyone. And everyone has enough ego to appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't think there's even the lowliest B-teamer whose sole purpose is to, one, wash dishes, and two, allow Flash to beat him up for the 100th time just to perfect a particular strategy. He still wants that. In fact, maybe he wants it more than most. And a player like Bbyong, who is just starting to really get recognition, this would be a tournament that would catapult him into the real spotlight, the casual viewers, as opposed to just the hardcore guys that knew him before he was cool. We're talking about real fame and fortune there. But Flash wants to deny that from happening, because Flash wants his own fame and fortune. He's not satisfied with mere Brood War victories. He wants one here. Brilliant control here from Flash, but a slip-up allows Bbyong to take 2 Marines there with that Hellion.
Well, the pretty good harassment so far here from Bbyong, but you know what? That Hellion's going to die if he goes in again, so might dodge that a little bit. Actually, waits for the second one to come in. Some very nice micro going down.
Good focus fire, though, from Flash. Oh, another one goes down, but that will have to pull back. He was hoping, of course, to ambush Flash, maybe get a good lineup and take all 3 Marines out, although he is... This is precision here, and he might be able to get that, but no. Flash has got the Hellions out, so... What a cool little micro battle to start this off.
Once again, it's one of these situations where if you get to kill off some of the Marines, that definitely does help with the Banshee, since it's hard to cover everything with turrets. But Flash is going to do his darndest to cover everything with turrets. Already throwing up a couple of them with that eBay being finished, making some Vikings as well, realizing that Bbyong wants to get the early damage in.
Yes, that he does, and it is something he has failed to do up to this point, and this Banshee is, of course, going to get spotted, and Bbyong knew that. He was going to fly right across the Xel'Naga Tower anyway, so that is something he was prepared for. Maybe he was thinking, oh, maybe I get a Marine out of this, and in fact, he is going to get a Marine out of it. There it is.
Well, in comes this Viking, and with the turrets up, he's going to have to run away and eventually cloak, but doesn't look like he's going to start out with very much damage. Has to be a little bit frustrating for Bbyong. He's such a strong Banshee user that normally he gets a decent amount of kills, but against Flash today, it's no dice.
You've got to ask why Flash is, one, so unflappable, and two, so uncrackable right now in this matchup. There have been good harassment attempts from Bbyong, but usually they've been those kind of drops that are going to get something done regardless of what happens, because you're dropping like 4 Blue Flame Hellbats into a mineral line, which can't really fail to at least do something. But the kind of precision harassment, the surgical harassment you would get from a Banshee, is the sort of thing that Bbyong, as you said, excels in, and yet is getting just nowhere with right now.
It is rough. It's okay to just kind of have Banshee tech throughout the game, especially considering that game 3 that we saw. Banshees were quite important several times.
Certainly.
But when you skip your command center being so early to make them, it definitely does add up. And we see once again, it's like the exact same supplies from before, where Flash is just up by about 6 to 8 supply, and there's not a lot Bbyong can do about it right now.
No, there really isn't, and Bbyong is taking his expansion a heck of a lot later. This expansion for Flash has been established for a good long time. The income difference is there. The Mule Hammer, of course, has just been dropped there for Bbyong, but even with those mules, he's still not really keeping up with Flash, who does have a 5-worker lead there. So everything coming up Flash again for the time being, but certainly Bbyong not out of it as of yet. There's not much damage has been done to either side yet.
That's very true, and in fact, if you look at the 2 build orders, Flash and Bbyong are both going to be going for mech, but Bbyong got double factory a bit quicker, and is getting Blue Flame. Yeah. And early on in mech versus mech, a lot of times it's just mostly Hellions, so when you're actually producing more Hellions, and you're going to have Blue Flame, this actually leans a little bit towards Bbyong. If they have an engagement after that Blue Flame is done, he should be able to take it handily.
Yeah, he should, and he needs to make that happen, of course. And one decisive engagement in this could be the difference between a victory and a loss. He knows that. He knows you can really make it happen there. And that Blue Flame is about to be done, and Bbyong is starting to move out on the map here. His Hellion count is slightly behind Flash's, but the Blue Flame makes the difference there in a really big way, and more reinforcements are starting to pour across the map here.
Yeah, he's getting ready to put the pressure on. He even has these Banshees in here, the Vikings as well. All these really can alter the battle also. Flash, of course, he has a better Viking count and a Raven, so he'll hold off the Banshees, but here we go indeed.
Here we go. How well can he line up right here? Not that well. Flash is maneuvering around to make sure that that can't actually happen. Bbyong also losing the air battle here, but he has a small number of blue flame Hellions that managed to push back. Flash fires back once again. Bbyong not keeping as many Hellions alive, I imagine, as he wanted to here, and he wants to do damage. He's now got his Banshees in. He's now managing to make something happen. The blue flame Hellions start to line up to decimate the mineral line.
Oh, a lot of SCVs starting to go down. He does have to end up landing his Vikings here. How many SCVs will he end up losing? Looks like 12, 13 so far.
And more could happen. Oh, Flash, though. He meets up with landed Vikings and a couple of Hellions just to finish things off. 14 workers killed there. That puts Bbyong solidly in the economic lead, and he's now building another command center here.
And in fact, he killed the SCV, making Flash's command center. So
that's nice.
His third is actually going to be timed out pretty evenly with Flash's. So Bbyong has really done kind of what he needed to do to get even there. And in fact, slightly ahead on SCVs even.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what Bbyong needed. Hopefully that's a big boost to his spirits going forward. Not that he's looked rattled at any point during this series, but the last map was more one-sided than Bbyong has shown up to this point, you know? He's been going toe-to-toe with Flash in these big crazy games, and then he just gets whacked in a situation where really he should have done damage in the first place. And now he's managed to find that damage, this time on the ground in combination with the Banshees, rather than just picking at Flash, which just doesn't seem to work ever.
Well, he's going to continue to try to pick at Flash, I think. You know, Bbyong, he is a guy that loves to harass, but at the same time, Flash, his defense has been so good this game overall, and you can even see that reflected in Vikings patrolling near his main base down at the south. He's got a group of landed Vikings on top of the ramp. His third base looks pretty well defended so far. He's even got his barracks out flying, waiting to see if any units try to come up. So he's really trying to make sure he doesn't lose any more SCVs here, and he can really get his macro going.
Third base is going to get scouted here as Flash moves in to check that out. There may be... Does he have any real harass potential? I mean, he's got a lot of Hellions, but unfortunately, he also knows that his opponent probably has more. Flash's Blue Flame is about to finish here as well. So, any kind of harass that Flash can put in there is going to be limited. Bbyong already realizes that that could happen. He's going to bring most of his Hellion force over to defend that.
Well, you know, this is... I feel like this game, Totalbiscuit, might even go longer than the game on Waystation, because I'm trying to figure out mech versus mech. If you look at the way this map is shaped, you can probably take 4 or 5 bases while having tanks on high ground as your defense, which is, like, pretty darn hard to break. So I think that this is going to go, like, super long, as neither player can kill each other.
Yeah, and neither player willing to commit there. It's like 2 evenly matched forces of Blue Flame Hellions, but Bbyong's Viking count is kind of wild, and I thought that Flash's was actually lower, but it's not. They're all on the ground, interestingly enough. Which is kind of a cool idea. Why fight in the air when you know your opponent's got an equal number of Vikings? Why not just put your Vikings on the ground to tank Hellion shots instead? Yeah,
totally. Like, he doesn't want to pay attention to that. Forget it. He wins ground battles right now with all those Vikings on the ground. So... I mean, it's a smart move by Flash to do, but that does give complete air superiority to Bbyong. In fact, picking off some Vikings here.
Yeah, that is the coolest thing he can do now. Because he's playing against mech, there's no Thors out, is he just camps production with this, and Flash isn't even building anything else out the starport now. But Bbyong lands at the top of the ramp, and the run-by begins as he takes out a missile turret. He takes an SCV. Oh, man, he could have had that tank there as well. I think he got out there maybe a little quicker than he needed to.
A little bit quicker. I think he could have definitely killed that tank off. But you know what? Any damage he can get done right now is great, because there's no way to really punish these until that first Thor pops out for Flash.
Yeah, there isn't. And it's about to pop out. So that's going to be a nasty little surprise here for Bbyong. A volley goes off. Hits maybe the worst spot it could possibly, but it's enough to scare Bbyong away for the moment.
Yeah, you don't really want to mess around against a Thor with Vikings, man. That's like one of the most one-sided battles in all of StarCraft 2. But it looks like it's time for these guys to start adding command centers. They both assess the situation and realize, okay, no way to kill anyone right now. May as well work on economy.
Yeah, certainly. It is that stalemate situation there. Both kind of getting to maxed out positions here, too. Flash's upgrades are at 2-0. He's gone for no armor upgrades yet. Bbyong actually very behind in upgrades. He hasn't even got one yet.
Yeah, that's quite slow on the upgrades, but when you think back to the opening builds, I guess it makes a little bit of sense because Bbyong was focusing so heavily on harassment and later on the economy. So yeah. Flash has a little edge, and he does have a bit of map control. But can he actually do something with this giant attack? Bbyong still has a lot of units.
It's an unwieldy force, isn't it? It's a lot of Hellbats there, but it is a lot of firepower too. The Viking lead is just in favor of Bbyong, but not by much. I mean, if Flash got the first volley off, he probably wins that fight anyway. Bbyong's setting up a big Hellbat drop, but these are going to be siege tanks actually at the back here, and both scan each other to see where they're going, both maneuvering for position. Flash trying to collapse the third base, and Bbyong, is he just going to go for the base? No, he's going to try and flank around it, but he's trying to find an angle, and those are good shots here for Flash. He boosts forward. The Hellbats are at the back to deal with the other Hellbats, and it's just a mess of flame at the moment, and Bbyong is going to siege up, fire a huge volley, but there are Hellbats already moving into Bbyong's siege line, and Flash breaks it.
Well, Flash just doing absolutely fantastically there. Bbyong actually out of position, letting Flash siege up and get this awesome spot, almost even killing that third command center. And during all this, Flash has been mining from his fourth base. He's up by 50 supply. It looks like Flash is just going to take this series down.
I think he very well might. It seems like Bbyong has, in fact, been rattled, and Flash's experience and just masterful decision-making is really making it happen here. There's the drop, but these tanks are already on siege. Nice little hot pickup there. Bbyong coming with a Thor. It's like, oh, you want to fight that? All right, let's bring it in here. But the third is gone. Flash has sieged that up. He has destroyed most of the production. 37 workers here to 70. Is anyone doubting Flash's TVT now?
No, I mean, he might have the best TVT in the world right now, to be perfectly frank with you here, Totalbiscuit. This is insane how well he's played this series. And, you know, just losing that one game that was so close and absolutely could have gone either way, like, Flash is looking just like a complete rock in this matchup.
Yeah, I think we now know why there has been no best of 7 with Flash in TVT. That's because nobody dared to fight him in it.
No, this is... You better not even show up, to be honest. You know, Flash is just so godly. Look what he's doing behind this, too. He's, like, adding command centers, getting +3 attack, keeping his macro up. His minerals are at, like, less than 100 most of the time.
Jeez.
It's madness.
Flash hype is real, man. This is not unjustified. This is not simply a man who is sitting on his past laurels and is happy with that. He is, if his play today is anything to go by, and of course in day one, he is very hungry at the moment. He really wants it bad, and he is making it happen. He even comes in to pick off the Medivacs, knowing his opponent doesn't have the anti-air to stop him.
Well, you know, eventually you got to show the haters you're the best, man. Just because he hasn't won a GSL yet doesn't mean he can't. You know, it's a matter of time now in this game before Bbyong is going to have to GG, I think.
Yeah.
No matter how scrappy he plays, just looking at his forces, you can tell he's in just a world of pain. There's no way to hold on.
Yeah, and it looks like Bbyong is unsieging. That's it, GG. Flash takes the series 4-1. Best TVT in at least a year, no doubt about that. He advances to the grand finals. It happened, folks. This is real life.
That's right. Like 4-1, it sounds really one-sided, and I got to tell you, a couple of those games there at the end did look very Flash-dominated, but Bbyong played beautifully, showing he is extremely good at Terran versus Terran as well, but Flash, just indomitable. What a force. He could definitely win this tournament.
He could, and he has now beaten a god in all 3 matchups. we could call him the one true god, I think, because he slew all the others. He killed Life, he killed CJ Hero, he killed CJ Bbyong. I mean, those are considered to be some of the best players of their race in the world. All 3 respective races, and he beat them all convincingly.
Yeah, he's But he's Flash. You got to remember, he's actually Flash. He's actually the greatest player of all time at the hardest esport that there ever was, StarCraft 1. So, I mean, he's really starting to come back into his own. And as we see Flash, like, really max out his skill and become, you know, what he was, people are going to, you know, I think no one really quite believes how good he was at StarCraft 1 that didn't get to actually see it firsthand. But you're starting to see what we used to watch all the time.
It's happening. It really, really is. And that's the best. And I am very, very happy indeed to see that those who perhaps doubted Flash's ability to play in this format are now being very, very silent. Rightfully so. But he has one more challenge yet to face. The winner of Zest and Hero. And I have to wonder who he would want to face. His teammate, who has... Let's break the stat out now. Never, ever lost a best of 5 or best of 7 in competitive play in his StarCraft 2 career. And, of course, the double GSL champion. Or CJ Hero, the back-to-back IEM champion, who is a machine and has, of course, beaten Flash before in Pro League.
Who has 19 wins in Pro League right now. I mean, oh my god. This is a good one. This is going to be probably the best PvP series that we have seen yet. PvP continues to evolve. Both these guys on the forefront of that. And I'm going to be sitting here. You might be hearing me jotting down notes during my commentary because these guys really know what they're doing in this matchup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do. It will be a PvP to remember. Hopefully, if it's even a third as good as what we just saw, I will be totally happy with that. You know, PvP's not my favorite matchup, but I certainly prefer it to ZVZ at the moment. And we are watching two masters at work here. So maybe this will change your opinion on PvP, folks. Maybe it will.
It's actually a beautiful matchup. I like it. It's one of my favorite matchups in the whole game. It's very deep. It's a very intelligent matchup. So I'll be doing my best to get some converts today for Zest vs. Hero.
Yeah, we might get it. We might. I really certainly hope that we do not get a disappointing series after what we just saw. I have not seen a series this year that has excited me as much as that one did. Even if it did just go to 5 games, what a series of 5 games they were, and how close it was, even though the scoreline doesn't show that. Yeah. But this is our last best of 7 of the match, folks. This will determine who goes on to face Flash in another best of 7 in the grand finals, and who will fall to face CJ Bbyong, who is certainly not someone I'd like to tangle with in the bronze match. Not at all. That's all going to be happening on day 4, the final day here of the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational. We're going to take a break while we do vetoes and set everything up for Zest versus CJ Hero. You're watching the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational. My name is Totalbiscuit.
And I'm Artosis.
We'll be back after the break. Hi, my name's John Bain, and it's my pleasure to thank Sandisk for bringing us top-notch StarCraft 2 entertainment at the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational. When I'm not casting StarCraft 2, it's my job to critique PC games, and to do that, I need the best hardware. One of the best upgrades that you can get for your PC gaming experience is a solid-state drive, so I'd like to encourage you to check out the Sandisk Extreme Pro SSD. It's engineered for super-fast read and write speeds and consistent high performance 24/7. What does that mean for your games? Faster load times, faster boot times, faster install times. Less downtime, more game time. Plus, they're easy to install, run cool, and are both virtually silent and energy efficient. If you're worried about reliability, no need. Sandisk backs it all up with a 10-year warranty. Game without limits when you step up to the consistent high performance of Sandisk Extreme Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sandisk SHOUTcraft Invitational, and what a night it's been so far, and I certainly hope that the last mirror of the day, the last match of the round of 4, even comes close to that.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but these two truly are Protoss versus Protoss Masters. I think we're going to see some of the best PvP that we have ever seen, and it's hard to get more epic, though, than that Bbyong vs. Flash game, man. That one on Way Station. Holy crap.
Mind-blowing, man. It's just that damn good. And now, of course, we have two of the best PvPers in the world in particular, both with excellent records, both fighting a lot in Pro League in this matchup, actually.
No doubt about that. Pro League is a PvP fest, so these guys get a lot of practice in it. And, of course, in the GSL as well, they get a lot of practice in PvP, as a lot of Protosses do quite well in there.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, we just had a random Spanish caster show up. It's like, no. One, you're probably not awake right now. That's insane. But two, no. Anyway, back to the point at hand. Yeah, so what recently happened to Hero in the GSL was very unfortunate. Because, of course, Hero's been playing really well, slipped up a little bit in Round 3 of Pro League, and then got whacked in GSL in a big way. Got knocked out by Parting 2-0 in a matchup he's traditionally very good at. But, of course, Parting is a bloody master at it as well. I remember watching him tear SOS apart at Red Bull Battlegrounds New York, and that was just after SOS had won the BlizzCon Championship, for God's sake. So, it's not like Parting is a pushover in that matchup. Easily one of the best in the world.
But, certainly, yeah.
Hero's also taken matches from SOS, from Hyunghwa, from Tails, from Parting in Pro League, all very, very recently. Has had good series, of course. Has won an IEM off the back of his PvP, 4-1 against MC. He had good results, in fact, in the IEM World Championship, only losing to SOS in the finals. But in the semis, if I recall correctly, 3-1 San to get there.
Yeah, and it was insane as well.
Yeah.
You know, I watch a lot of PvPs, and I can